Hello, my name's DB. This is Brendan and Bianca above me, and welcome to X and Y. This is the show where we discuss all manner of things from anime to video games to palm cards, with the same amount of scrutiny and thoroughness as though we actually were using palm cards. Sadly, it's just me using palm cards. The other two just flying by the seat of their pants like pros.
Hashtag no palm cards.
I could start grabbing all the things on my desk to show you, but we're on
To
something.
demonstrate. Before we go any further, I'd just like to acknowledge that we're broadcasting from the lands of the Camaragal and Gadigal peoples of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to their present elders, past and present. Brennan, did you finish your video game recently?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah,
I beat this game after many years.
Was it by any chance Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy? I hope it is, because we've got it on the screen, so it'd be a lucky coincidence.
I would like this question to be answered, not necessarily now, but the Precursor Legacy. How
That's what I was
does
going to
that
ask.
legacy stand the test of time? Also, Bianca, this is another game of a Precursor race who set all this technology, and you could use that technology and you uncover it, and there's all this mystery and stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. It's like it was always very bold for the first entry in your series to have a colon in it in the title.
And the word legacy.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is also the only game called Jak and Daxter, though.
Yeah,
as
true.
well.
They dropped the Daxter for the sequels. That's right.
Which is so funny.
Which
so
one's Daxter?
edgelord.
Oh, okay. So Daxter's the little dude.
Yeah,
Daxter is in fact, the little
Jak.
Is
And
Daxter
yeah,
in the other games?
Daxter
Yeah.
is absolutely in the other games. Yes, they remain a duo for like very firm friends till to the last entry in the series.
I'm
But not good enough friends to warrant a spot in the name of the game.
I
Well,
was
I'm-
actually watching like some videos to sort of prep for this, and like there's Brendan, you know how in this game when you die, Daxter like looks over, like there's a sort of a Batman Arkham type cutscene where Daxter's standing over Jak and talking to the
It's
camera.
exactly like Batman Arkham City, Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum
I
before
know
its
exactly.
time. Yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, but it's like he's talking straight to the camera. There's one in Jak 3. Like they bring that back for Jak 3, the thing where Daxter talks to you when you die. And one of the things he says was, "Well, this is what happens when you drop me from the title." You know? And I thought that was
Hey.
clever.
Sorry,
clever.
Daxter speaks?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Oh.
just assumed he was a mute sidekick.
So like
Oh, you want mute sidekicks? How would you like a mute protagonist?
a mute protagonist, and I suppose that we
Oh,
can
I
make that the
see.
first
I
subject
see.
of our scrutiny. Yeah, so this is Jak. This is who you're playing as for all of Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy. Sorry, I forgot
Is
the
he an
colon.
elf boy? Is that who he is? Is he an elf boy?
Everyone in this game is kind of an elf boy. Everyone's got these
Yeah.
exaggerated ears.
Everyone is an elf person.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's a name for the race.
No,
By
there
the-
never is.
I sent a picture of the side character that we'll get to at some point to a friend, and they pointed out to me the toes. They're extremely well defined
Yes.
on all of these characters.
Yes.
I was about to say he's an elf boy, but with hobbit feet.
Mhm.
He looks like he should have
non-hairy
6
hobbit
toes
feet.
and he lost one.
Sorry,
Yeah.
he lost a toe. Yeah. He definitely did lose a toe. They definitely.
I
lost
don't.
something.
I hate when people have feet on display in video games. No, I just hate it.
Are you
Can't
trying to
just
say don't show
fight-
feet?
Listen, if you feet fetishizers, don't at me. Feet should stay in shoes in video games. Don't make toes out of polygons. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's never good. It never has been good. It never will be good. End of story.
You'll be thrilled to know that he puts shoes on in the sequels. He,
Oh, thank
he
Christ.
really does. Yeah, they're like big clumpy boots, and they suit his animation really well.
Excellent.
Yeah, Brendan,
gets
like, is he a fun character to play as?
To play as?
Yeah, to play as.
Yes.
Cool.
His attacks, the only problem is his attacks, neither of them are good. But other than that, he's fine.
What are they again? I can't remember.
He has a little short range charge punch,
Oh, this
which
thing.
is too
Yep.
short.
Mhm.
And he has a little spinny kick, which is the range is also too short.
Yes.
Problem
It's
the
like
only-
it's a Crash Bandicoot spin basically, because it's the same people who made Crash Bandicoots, and you could just kind of
Oh yeah.
you
yeah,
could just
yeah.
see it here and there, just like, and it's got the same musician as well, so it just kind of sounds similar.
Yeah, it's a it's a Crash Bandicoot spin, except I think that animation might be. Oh, it's probably longer, but I don't know. The range is a lot shorter, and
Yeah,
it's not
definitely,
as good.
It's not
But the
his
platforming, jumping around is fun.
it's not his like defining feature.
Yeah.
He has quite a few really. I'm still looking at this image of him, and it's like
It's the hair.
the hair.
It's so vibrant.
Mm.
Super Saiyan hair on an elf.
Would you want to play as him?
At
Bianca?
last.
Like,
Oh,
from
no.
from the ankles up.
He needs to.
From the ankles
Okay,
up.
all right. Claire, I was about to say, I'd play the sequel when he's got some shoes on.
Okay.
I
He
wouldn't
must
touch
get the
this
goatee as well.
filthy, this filthy barefoot Byron Bay hippie looking boy.
He does grow a goatee. That's right. You just reminded me, Brendan.
He looks like a child in this one, so he must have aged a
more or
lot.
less is. Yeah, he's like 16 in this. I forget what
Yeah.
it says in the manual exactly, but yeah, he's a teenager for sure.
The game starts off with them doing some harmless mischief, which would imply being a juvenile. So I would say about 16.
Speaking of
something like
harmless mischief, so this is what Dexter looks like at the start.
that. Yeah.
And as a result of their harmless mischief, he falls into a vat of dark eco, which is like purple goo, and becomes what's called an otter/weasel.
That's an improvement, mate.
Exactly.
That's such
Isn't
an
it
improvement.
Such an improvement.
Oh my goodness.
So that's, I mean, to be fair,
What a glow up.
to be fair, the image I got on the right is the cover art for his spin-off game, which came out in the PSP. So like he's made to look as appealing as possible there.
Yeah,
But-
it's okay that they dropped his name off the title because he got his own spin-off PSP exclusive.
That's right.
We all played that one.
Hmm.
Does he have buck teeth in human elf boy form?
In human form, yes. In
Yeah.
Otzel form, no. It's a very
Like-
kind of amazing.
He got some dental work done at the same time. That's
I
great.
don't know if you saw that Spider-Man movie, like the second Andrew Garfield one, but Jamie Foxx is the villain, and he starts off like a nerd, but when he becomes Electro, the electric
Electro.
villain.
I was about to say, is that the one with Sandman? And I was like, no,
No,
okay,
no,
Electro.
that's a different one. But no, in this one, he becomes Electro, and like there's in the sequence when he's like falling into a vat of something, they close up the gap in his teeth. Like there's a shot where that happens. So I imagine
Fixing
that's what
people.
happened here. Only it's just kind of.
They fixed him.
So while we're talking about this too, the plot of the first game is all about until about 75% of the way through the game. The plot of the game is trying to find a way to reverse Daxter's melodies, and he's really insistent on that.
So
He
is
won't
that
shut up.
like
I wonder why.
Is that really like their primary motivation? Because I got the impression it's also like to find these fellas, which that like by which I mean the four sages, and you're friends with the green one, but the blue,
They're
red,
all
and yellow
green.
one, have all gone missing, and so you got to find them. Is that how? Because it's been a while since I played it, so
There isn't a revelation that they're all being like captured by the same person until you get to the last village. I can't remember what it's called, like the not rock village, the lava village or whatever.
Lava Village.
So when you get to that point, that is when the actual other plot revelations come in, which is that they're all being captured by these dark elves, and the dark elves are trying to get some dark Mako powers, which is something else we haven't touched on.
Yeah. I've got a slide with these dark elves on it.
So when I was playing this game, so all the other sages are missing, and I always thought, it's mighty convenient that they introduced this lore where there's these 4 cool sages that all have cool powers, and we only get to see one of them. But no, they introduced them all at the end of the game.
Yeah, at the
Which
very
is
end.
very interesting.
Yeah, and how recently did you play that last world? Was it just today or last night?
Last night.
Yeah, so you only saw them for the first time last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't get that far as how far did you get as a kid?
Up to Rock Village.
Rock Village. Okay, so like about halfway, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it make any more sense that the green sage Samos has a child?
Why is the child not green?
There's no reason why he wouldn't have a child.
True. It's just okay. Like they never like the fact that he's her father is like just a minor detail, and they move along very quickly.
Yeah.
We're not
There's nothing to
interested in
imply
this.
celibacy in the sage life.
That's true.
Also, I think my assumption would be that he has turned green because he's devoted his life to greenness and nature.
Whereas she's devoted her life to just engineering in general, so it's not green nature
Yeah.
specifically. It's just yeah, and he's also just very cranky and irate, and is constantly yelling at Daxter and ordering him around. So it's like it's amazing that he has the patience to like have someone around who he calls his child, his daughter. I just
He does
Yeah.
actually soften up about halfway through, or a bit after that.
okay,
It starts to soften up a little bit.
yeah, like as in how does that show through?
He says, "Maybe you aren't useless."
Oh, okay. Naughty Dog,
Um,
baby.
We should really talk. We should talk more about these character designs as well, unless you want to do that at the end.
Well, you mentioned it's just like the slides I'm on now are kind of like all the characters. So like you mentioned these dark elves. Let's introduce the villains while we're at it.
Okay, and we'll go back over to do all the characters.
So these are the villains. You've got Goal here, and Maya on the right in the middle, and then this guy
Kingdom Hearts
Claw.
1 boss.
Yeah. That's exactly. His
Yeah.
name's Claw. He's just a sub boss. Whatever. I just threw him in there
His
because
name
it's
is-
like.
His name is Handsome the Gull.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Bianca. These people never show up again for the rest of the series.
Oh, something just on that.
Yeah.
In the final cutscene of the game, they hinted that they'll be back.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, absolutely. They drop a massive hint that they'll be like, hopefully they're gone forever. They don't go back.
Just kidding.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
That's very convenient.
How many Jak games did they make? Daxter.
So Naughty Dog made 4, including a racing spin-off, True to Form. And then there were 2 more spin-offs by other studios, and then it just stopped. Like Jak, and they showed up in like other games as like cameos, but that was it.
So we're holding our hope for Jak 7 that these guys will come back then.
More or less.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be Jak 4 because there's Jak 1 to 3 are the number ones, and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll crush for it if they bring it back.
Okay.
You know, they'll just
Yep.
they'll make a joke about how like, oh, I could have sworn there were others, and then just move on. This is like
yeah,
the canonical entry. Yeah.
There'll be a racing level, and they'll make a joke about the fact they made a racing game. I'm sure.
luckily they didn't do what Ratchet and Clank did, which I can also stream one day, where they just went overboard with sequels, and as a result, I never ended up playing any of them.
Yeah. Including
Did you play the newest, the one on PS4,
No,
the new one?
I did.
Yeah, I did. I never played any Ratchet and Clank game. Mitch had, but I thought it was kind of cool. But then,
It's kind of cool.
yeah,
Honestly, if Mitch what does Mitch reckon? Like, does he like the PS2 ones better? I bet he does.
I don't remember
Oh,
enough.
okay. Well,
It wasn't. I would say it was okay. Like it wasn't that memorable. It was just a. It's just a game.
because the
I
first
think the
PS
first one's really good. Yeah,
the first PS2 Ratchet and Clank had a similar effect as this, really, in that it just kind of showcased the PS2, and like it was the first wake up call of just like, oh crap, this is what like graphics look like now. This is what worlds look like now.
We're in a brave new world
Yeah.
of graphic
Also-
fidelity.
also Ratchet and Clank is Insomniac, and this is Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
So Crash and Spyro again, and then Ratchet and Clank, and then Jak and Daxter
yeah,
came out side by side.
symbiotic relationship,
Hmm.
very much so. Just one more point on the characters. I just put together a little slide here. Throughout the game, you're getting missions from NPCs in the world. Half of these people don't have names, or maybe even 3/4. I've actually written them. I actually wrote them down as just kind of an exercise, and it's like, yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 proper names in there. The rest are just people. And they just come up to you and like, hey, you're a couple of like hardy fellows. Can you do things for me? And it's usually like hitting a button on a lighthouse or collecting eggs or rounding up cattle, you know.
I'm not sure what that thing is in the bottom right.
Oh,
next to
the-
Little hippo-looking thing.
It's a
Yeah.
hog in the same way that an otzel is an otter and a weasel. This is a hippo and a pig.
Oh,
in the swamp
so the
level,
main
you-
characters are the main characters like a mix between a human and an elf. Is that the gimmick here?
hobbit
Everything
and
is
an
a
elf.
cross of everything.
A health, yes.
Hobbit and an elf.
Helven kind, yes. That's exactly what they were going for. We cracked it. True to X and Y form. We did it.
Back her up. We're
Thanks
done.
for watching, everyone.
But yeah, and they went in a deliberate. They've got in future games. They go into this deliberate direction of just like, let's have fewer NPCs, but we see them more often, and they have actual personalities. And I think for the most part, it works. It's better than like this kind of menagerie here. And because I mean, none of these people have really like they don't have names. They don't have really distinct personality types, other than really needs someone to help them. Yeah, and I only
Helpless villager number 1.
yeah, and I only
The
commented
majority
it.
of
Sorry, come on. No, you go, Bren.
the majority of them are like just scabs. Like they just want money off you. The mayor is just like, can you give me some money for my
re-election campaign? Yeah.
And then your uncle tries to hit you up for money.
Yeah, which one is your uncle? Is it this guy?
I'm not sure what you're highlighting.
Sorry, yeah. The
Monocle man.
Yeah.
mutton
You're wearing
chops.
the Footscray jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, never mentioned again. Just the fact that you have an uncle. It's not even a sage, you know. And
do any of these characters come back?
You could argue that you see this guy again, this hip hog.
Oh, okay.
I'll point it out. I'll point it out when it happens when we stream Jak 2. Yeah, but maybe moving on. Brendan, you wanted to talk about like the tech of this game, and I found a couple of things that might sort of get the point across. One of them is Jak and Daxter 1's entry into the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition for Elite Gamers. It is the first console game to present the player with a single unbroken 3D world. Even Grand Theft Auto 3, which came out 2 months earlier, had load times between the islands. This is the first time that we had a consistent 3D world in a game. This is a year after the
interesting.
It is, and it's a year after the PS2 came out. And as I've got there as well, that's mainly the result of the programming work of Andy Gavin, who was also one of the 2 people sort of credited as like the co-visionaries on Crash Bandicoot. So it's him and Jason Rubin, who were like the 2 head honchos at Naughty Dog at the time. So he created.
He's Crash.
Sorry.
He's Crash.
He is Crash.
He is Crash.
Jason is Bandicoot. Yes. So
he's Wally the Wombat.
That too. So he made a programming language where like it's able to update and load elements and modify the game world without having to restart the program altogether by way of a loading screen. So like that language is kind of his invention. Apparently it meant that a lot of the production had to go through him, and so it like engineering took months and months and months to perfect it. But yeah, look, I mean, Brendan, like, so what? I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, playing this properly for the first time, finishing it for the first time. And you kept, and you mentioned to me a couple of times ahead of tonight that like you're just marveling at how much of a tech achievement it is. Like, what struck you that way?
Oh yeah, it's literally that. There's like, admittedly, there's a couple of there's a few tricks. Like if you're loading up the next area, you put the next area behind a wall. Even the very first area, the beach that you go to, you have to go around a cliff to actually see the whole area.
Yeah.
But it's still really impressive. Crash Bandicoot also did a lot to innovate how levels load in games. There's way more polygons on the screen than other games could have at one time because it dynamically loads polygons as you're moving back and forth through the world.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure this dude probably had something to do with as well, would be my guess.
Yes.
But yeah, I also remember there's a game, a little video game. It's called Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. It was late PS2, like early generation after that, Xbox 360. I think.
It was like cross-gen, kind of.
Yeah, just on that precipice, like 2005 to 2006 sort of era. They advertised that game really heavily as being like, there's no loading in between these areas, and even then, there's a little loading screen if you're fast traveling.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a very long time in between those games. I just wanted to point that out. Anyway,
In the new Tony Hawk remaster that just came out, in one of the levels, they've got an American Wasteland poster up on the walls, along with every other, like Proving Ground and Underground 2. And
I only saw the first Underground. Are they all in the hangar?
yes,
Yeah,
that's it.
Have you guys seen? And I don't know if I'm just really out of the loop, but people play these games. Tony Hawk. I'm talking about Tony Hawk, by the way. The remastered versions, and have been. I was seeing that there were these two people on Twitch that were like having this competition with each other to see who could get the longest combo.
Right.
And it got into, somebody got like 20 million points in a combo, and I remember thinking, wow, that's insane. I watched a clip of them doing it, and it was like insane. They just kept doing it over and over and over again. Like they kept. I'm terrible at those games, so I was impressed. And then someone in the comments was like, the world record is over 300 million points in one trick. It's like, what the fuck? The clip of him doing it goes for 15 minutes, and it's just him going around in a loop in the hangar level over and over and over again, not fucking it up the entire time. I am astonished. Beyond my capabilities.
Yeah, same.
I used to play those games a lot. I used to be pretty good. Not, I probably couldn't beat the world record, would be my guess. But but I used to be able to get like, up in the millions of points and that sort of thing.
You know who's insanely good at Tony Hawk?
Is it Tony Hawk?
It's Jack Black, who is also in the...
I did know that, yeah.
He's in the remaster. He plays Officer Dick, who you unlock after
Is
completing...
he? Oh.
Yeah, he is the model for Officer Dick and the voice. And he put a video up on his gaming YouTube channel.
Tony Hawk came over to his house.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it as well.
Yeah, and so like and like he's doing a blog. He's doing a blog. It's like this view. It's just a webcam view in the corner, and then it's him playing as himself in Tony Hawk, and he's fucking amazing. He's so good at it. He's just nailing combos and going, and like you can't see his fingers, but you imagine they're just contorting really quickly. It's amazing.
The trick is being able to manual in between things, like because you have to do up down to do it. So being able to quickly up down and then jump. I don't know. I used to play that game of shit. Like I started speed running it before I knew what speed running was. I think my best time was like 55 minutes or something like that.
We're just trying to get through the career mode
of Underground, the Tony Hawk's Underground.
Oh, of Underground, yeah, skipping the game. Underground got that had like a proper story at that point when you're like you're an up and coming skater, and you've got a rival, you've got a Pokemon rival,
and you can scan your face in with your eye toy.
You can do that, and
it only takes 3 days.
Your rival is named Eric Sparrow, who, I mean, it sounds like a Pokemon NPC. Is that fair to say?
There's a surname, not a Pokemon NPC.
Okay. Too many characters,
yeah. But he's absolutely a Pokemon rival, Eric Sparrow.
Just quickly before we move on from Tony Hawk chat, did any of you guys have the game Amped? It was an Xbox. No. I think it was an Xbox exclusive. Maybe it was a snowboarding game. That was what it was. Okay. And I loved playing it. Wasn't very good at it. Never even finished the campaign mode. But the thing that always stuck out to me was that in like the loading screen, they'd have all these like cool snowboarder sayings. I guess I don't really know. I've never been snowboarding in my life.
Carve that pow.
Yeah, they would say things like that about like, and grind that sick rail and all this, like all these weird things that they would say. And one of them was saying like, we only snowboard because it's too cold to skate. And I was like, are you admitting in your own game about snowboarding that it's the inferior sport?
What a non sequitur. That's incredible.
Which I thought was very funny.
And how old were you when you're looking at this?
Oh, I was maybe 13 or 14 or something.
Yeah, okay. So you're old enough
impressionable enough to be like, this is a snowboarding game though. Are you telling me to go and play Tony Hawk? Is that what you're telling me to do?
Is this actually a Tony Hawk claim? Because all games after a certain point were.
I remember Shaun White put out snowboarding games.
And skateboarding games.
Oh, he did that too? Okay. Well, either way. No
He's multi-talented. See, all snowboarders are multi-talented apparently. They only snowboard because it's too cold to skate. That's what happens.
We'll have to just enshrine that somewhere in the stream. Just as part of the Streamlabs setup, it's just sort of printed on the side.
It's too cold to skate.
Too cold to skate. 2020.
Like-
Just a little bit more on that consistent world, that vibrant world. Look, honestly, it's a genuinely cool world, and as Brendan comments, like, it has a significant effect on how enjoyable the game is. This map I've got up on this current slide, just looking at it, it's like a 8-year-old me's dream. You know, it's just all these cool, diverse locations that all have really specific challenges in them. There's like a sunken city and a foggy, craggy island and a spider cave and a jungle and a snowy mountaintop, and it's really varied and colorful and cool. And yeah, go on, Brendan.
For that reason, and what we were talking about in terms of the loading each area, the game sort of feels a little bit like a tech demo in a lot of ways.
Yeah?
And yeah, I mean, and obviously it was made to showcase the console. They would have given Naughty Dog their dev kits like way ahead of time, and been like, can you please figure out how to get the best out of this console? And I reckon they would have. I also wanted to mention, while we're talking about this, they're not remasters, the ports.
Not really, no.
The ports aren't great.
No.
Has there ever been a good port, honestly?
I'm sure there are.
Oh, it depends what you're referring to, I guess.
Oh, you know what? The Warriors game is a pretty good port.
The
like I hear
PS2
about
version? Okay.
It's always like, oh, it's just a port. Like, it's always said negatively. I always find people like, oh, it's just a port.
Very after the fact, yeah. Akami had ports, and then we got Akami HD. Oh, the remaster. Finally.
At last. Time to buy that game for the 4th time.
Oh, Akami. Yes, please.
Yeah. What was I talking about? I was going to say something else.
It was a tech demo.
Ports, the PS4 port not being
the port. Yeah, I think that's something about PS2 ports when they port them to PS4 that fucks them up, because there's a lot of, like, all the Rockstar games the PS2 to PS4 ports are all messed up.
I think they count on that grey area where, like, well, this game didn't run terribly well in the first place, right? There were some frame rate hitches prior, right? They only ported something like 30 games to the PS4 store from PS2.
The main problem that happens with this game is, like, it plays fine, which is the main thing. It looks fine, but the main problem is on character models. You can see each individual polygon.
Yeah, you see a bit more than you're supposed to.
Yeah, it might be like a lighting and shading issue.
And you see certain things clip through other things. Like Daxter's mouth is so animated and expressive that you see his tongue go through his chin. Like, it's just it's a bit jaggy.
It's my pet hate is when your camera clips somewhere and you can see someone's eyeballs and teeth and tongue. It's just, I hate that.
Have you ever played Mass Effect?
I've got a clip to send you later, Bianca, where I captured a moment when I was playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag on PS4, where, like, the guy's getting into a bar fight, and as the camera swooshes around, getting ready for this violent brawl, it clips through an NPC's face, and I see, like, a single eyeball for 1 second.
It'll never not be funny.
And I recorded it, I edited it, and now it's, like, horrific. It's, like, immortalized on YouTube, so... Yeah,
sometimes jank is good.
Sometimes it is good. Yeah. And I feel like in this game, like, because there's so much good animation, because it is, like, very good character animation. I actually wrote down on the palm card, Daxter won the Best Character Award from the Game Developers Conference of 2002, and that is the only time Naughty Dog has won an award for a character. Which... Now that I say it, I feel
they wait until Last of Us 2 gets their nominations in.
That's what I mean. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it just didn't happen with either of the live action ones. Maybe it did, and I didn't see it. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, all the animations are fucking excellent.
Yeah. Like, we're gonna look at, like, the true ending of the game for later on, and you'll get a sense of, like, how nice the animation
It was actually something I really should have asked at the start of this. Jack chat.
Yeah.
Uh, did we like Jak and Daxter 1? What's the general vibe?
Oh yeah, I think some parts of it have aged a little bit, but overall, I can still really appreciate this game for when it came out, and it's really impressive in that regard.
Yeah.
It holds up okay. I mean, pretty good. I would recommend if someone was interested in this game, I would say just go ahead and play.
Yeah,
play the PS4 port.
It's definitely it's a strong curio, you know. It's a really strong, like, it's not a launch title for the PS2, but it feels really tied to that console's identity and like what that console managed to do that hadn't been done before, or that generation at least, you know. It's just it feels very sort of iconic for that era and that time in our lives, I suppose. And yet it's just kind of it's like a seamless Mario 64 basically, you know. Yeah, because the thing you're collecting the entire time, it's on the screen now, it's in the bottom right, it's that orby type thing with the fragments. They're power cells, and they're basically stars from Mario. You just do set objectives in each of the different levels, and you get power cells for them. And
if you'd said to me that they were relic fragments or like ancient artifacts, I would have believed you. You telling me they're power cells?
they're power cells, yeah.
Well, the power cells and the ancient artifacts.
They're both.
Oh,
They're much like Dark Eco, they just fill whatever gap in the story needs to be filled.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do we activate this machine? How do we...
Can't wait to learn what fucking this Marco shit is.
It's also kind of like a part of a bartering system where, like, at one point an NPC is like, can you help? I'll give you a power cell if you clear out these baddies in this area. And Daxter's like, hey, for that work, we should get 2. It's like, nice try, but I'd be willing to part with another one if you did this extra objective. And it's like, okay, so the currency as well. And the thing, like, Bianca, have you encountered that thing in the top left?
I mean, it was on the cover, I think.
Yeah, but
is that the Precursor's legacy?
It's the precursor. It's a precursor orb, right? And they're like coins, going on the Mario 64 analogy. But but Naughty Dog has put one of those in every Uncharted and every Last of Us as well.
Oh, Mitch! I bet you Mitch just pointed them out to me.
Mitch, yeah. It's like
whatever.
And like Nathan Drake will pick it up and be like, "Wow, what is this?" And just they won't.
Right.
It's
okay.
Just
you're talking about the
Precursor
orb that's in.
Yeah.
I know it's in Uncharted 2. It's probably in other ones as well.
There's one in Last of Us 2 as well, which is very funny to think about given how
is
serious. Yeah, there is. And I just found it by myself and was just like, oh, okay. it was kind of a heavy part of the story as well. It's just an odd place to put it.
There's a PlayStation Vita in Last of Us 2 as well.
There is.
I was like, oh my god!
Did you recognize the game that was on it, Brendan?
Was there a game on it?
There was.
Yeah. So when the girl's playing it and you come up behind her, she's playing. I was surprised by the game choice. Yeah, but
I didn't. Maybe I didn't even see that. What is it?
It's Hotline Miami.
Yeah,
which...
and you can hear the music. You can hear the music coming through the headphones, and they put the filter on it to make it sound like it's coming through headphones. And I really liked that because that was my favorite song from the Hotline Miami soundtrack. Or one of them. They're all great, but
yeah. And that's another game in which you are relentlessly beating people up and just slaughtering them with all manner of weapons, and then you're made to feel guilty about it. So good choice.
I never felt guilty.
Yeah. Neil Druckmann is a genius.
I never felt guilty in either game. Fuck you, Neil.
I know, right?
Honestly.
Why don't we touch on the ending?
Oh,
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Of Last of Us 2.
Literally of Last of Us 2. Yeah. Fucking! I can't believe that Joel had to kill the zombie king to get rid of the virus.
And then all the zombies collapsed at once, because that always happens in these things. You know, you kill one, you kill everyone.
I can't believe they copied Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's not what I would have gone with, but yeah.
And then Joel is Ellie's dad after all. Like all the father figure stuff, and then it's just biological father. Like
predictable.
Yeah, I was about to talk about the ending, so let's go for it.
So, the final boss fight, you've rescued all the 4 sages from earlier. Gol and Maya have team rocketed themselves into a giant precursor, like a mech, basically. Like, that's, you're looking at, it's got like a beak. I don't know if you can, that's the clearest picture I could find. I don't know if you can even tell its anatomy from the side on. But you can see its eye and then a
Take
beak
your word for
extended.
it.
Yeah, and there's a laser coming out of its forehead. Like, I don't know if you could tell, Bianca, what's going on there.
It's a precursor robot that they've decided to customize with evil things.
Yes.
Is what the thing is. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
To destroy the world, to crack open a dark eco silo, which is what they're doing there. They're firing it with their laser. Jack gets all 4 kinds of eco: blue, green, red, and yellow, and becomes like this glowy white Jack, and Kamehamehas the robot, and it's all very cool. Like, Brendan, is it still a fun boss fight, or did you find it annoying? No.
It's like a big boss fight in a Crash Bandicoot game.
And even the Crash games, like, the camera's usually fixed. In this one,
they're
still sort of
like the engine boss fights, where you have to do 3 phases and there's permadeath.
And suddenly you can, in Crash 2, suddenly you can throw apples. They just gave you that mechanic for that one fight.
Never forget.
Because you need it.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging on to that one.
It's not good. It's not good. That's fine.
No. That's okay. Anyway, you defeat him, and then the new day dawns. You nearly Jack and Kira nearly kiss, but Daxter breaks them up because that's hilarious.
They don't really have any chemistry because Jack can't talk, but she is the manic pixie dream girl love interest.
Big time. There's I was looking at some of the cutscenes, and there's one very incidental cutscene where it's like, "Good job, boys. Make sure to collect more power cells so we can keep going." And she snaps her suspenders for some reason. They're constantly finding these ways to make her appealing to the teen boys playing it, and it's like, okay, I see you go. It's and she's a
I'll tell you something a little bit.
Hey.
It works a little bit, and I know that's a huge fault. But
but it just sucks that she just has no real character trait other than enthusiasm.
I was gonna say about a lot of these characters actually. To do I don't know what you'd call this test, but I'm gonna call it the prequels test. Which is where you have to describe a character without saying what they look like or what their job is.
Yeah, and sadly, most of these quest givers that I've just clicked back to, it's like they're literally called geologist, warrior, bird keeper.
I think they have a bit more going on. Some of them, they have at least. I think they all.
You could forget Barrel Guy. He's my favorite.
He's the gambler, have at least, Bianca.
Yeah, they have one personality trait, which is fine. The warrior is lazy.
But cries a lot.
Yeah, he's lazy on side, so he's got 2.
Bad boy.
Bird lady likes birds. That's a personality trait.
And she finds it funny when when they retrieve that little egg and the thing hatches and thinks Daxter is his mum, and she finds.
She's nurturing. She's nurturing. That's a characteristic.
Like any woman over 50 in games like this, they're a mother. That's it.
But Kira, I believe her name is. She's enthusiastic, and that is her character. That's her one character trait.
Same as the Green Sage is grouchy and bossy. And
but let me tell you something.
We're sleepy and dopey. Come on.
Yeah.
We've got the whole dozen of them.
Can you pull up the picture with Kira and the Green Sage?
Yep. Loading.
It's loading.
Yeah.
This is some real fucking Steve Tyler, Liv Tyler energy right here. I'll tell you that much.
Wow. There's even one of them's an elf as well. My daughter is an elf.
That's precisely what it is. Oh man.
The completely useless suspenders. That's hot. That's hot. That's what I need to point out.
It is such a pose too.
Yeah. She's broken her shoulder bone.
Just casually dislocating her shoulder, yeah.
Her hip is broken.
Oh man.
It's all off at an angle.
And 2 of her toes are missing, as we've established, because her feet are like Jack's. So
they've all listen, and her old man has got hand feet.
Oh my god, I haven't looked at that properly in ages.
I noticed it when we were first on this slide, and I was like, bite your tongue, Bianca, don't dunk too hard. No, sorry, it has to be said. Those weird clog things don't count as shoes.
No.
he needs some proper footwear to hide those. That's he's got hand feet, and I don't like them.
There's stuff
I
I
do
want to
like-
say. There's stuff I want to say about what's in the sequels, but I won't because we're going to play through it, and I want Brendan to be surprised.
Hell yeah. I do like his design though as well. I like that his
Hmm.
shoes are just logs and he has a log in his
Log
head.
hat, yeah.
I like the
Log.
bird that he's got with him at all times because it's just a very little low poly bird that's just kind of
Yeah,
flitting around.
I like his old man aesthetic. Like
I
his
like that-
ears are droopy. He's got like he's all beard and eyebrows and ears, and that's a big old man energy.
Yeah.
He just needs some hair coming out of his ears, and he'll have the complete look.
I wonder what
Also-
he looks like without the beard. Like
I
that
also
model.
checked- I wanted to check if he was like Honeydew, Dr. Honeydew from the Muppets, where he doesn't actually have eyes, he only has glasses.
Mm,
And I looked at him from an angle, but he does have eyes as
he
well.
absolutely does have eyes. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
got weird fucking glasses,
Yeah.
which I have to assume he made himself. I wonder what those other lenses are for.
I like that you can tell that he is about nature.
True, and like not like a straight hippie necessarily. He's kind of he's got a scientist vibe as well. Just with those glasses alone, I think.
But yeah, look, I've faced the fact that I'm into manic pixie dream girls. It's something that I'm working on about myself, and I'll report back on the results.
Can I have a quick sidebar?
Yeah.
Real quick. I don't know. Well, I know James is watching. I know he knows what I'm talking about. We watched some of the Twilight movies over the weekend.
Oh, hell
Yeah, right. So, firstly,
I know
the
where this is going.
the first one fucking slaps. The first one is a good movie. I will fight anyone who thinks otherwise. It is a good movie. Alice, that character, she's literally manic pixie dream girl. The girl. She's
Shut up. Shut up.
Are we hitting a soft spot, Brendan? Is that what's happening? Is Alice
No,
like the prototypical? Okay.
No, I
But
don't like.
she is,
I don't
though.
like Twilight. I don't love Alice from Twilight.
She is though. I mean, she's on screen, and I was like, so I read them all. I read all the books, right? I read them all. I'm well versed in the Twilight universe. That's her character, but it's like they didn't give her any other traits of the character she's in the books because she's like really nice as well. Like,
Okay.
but in this, she's just this like, I have visions and I fucking have this haircut and I act this way.
I have this haircut.
She's got short. Yeah, she's got short hair. The one time I saw it, it was at a riff sort of comedians talking over it event, and it was hosted by Sydney comedians Tom Walker, Demi Lardner, and Alexi Toliopoulos, who were all extremely good. The minute she came on screen, one of them went, "Hello, I am Vampire Emily," and everyone pissed themselves. It was so good.
It's exactly what they tried to make her character.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, anyway, it's funny watching it because like there's also all these scenes where like she's really nice to Bella, who's Kristen Stewart's character,
Yeah.
for no discernible reason. Like she's just nice, but she doesn't have any. You don't see that she's nice. She just says something like, "Oh, I would, of course, I threw a org party for you because we love you," and all that. It's like, do you? You've spent like 5 minutes on screen time together. Why are you so nice to everybody?
Oh, hey, look, I think every YA adaptation needs a unconditionally kind, wholesome character. Honestly, I feel like
True.
Maze Runner: The Death Cure absolutely could do with that. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie. I assume there isn't one, and that there should be.
I'll take that bet.
That is the aesthetic of the first movie in particular is interesting. It's cool.
Yeah.
I watched them all recently as well.
The director was known for a skating movie called Lords of Dogtown. Like she had done like legit.
Oh, doing Lords of Dogtown. There you go.
But it also explains
Catherine
why-
Hardwicke.
Yeah,
I know
the aesthetic does change quite dramatically in the second one.
Yeah.
And it also becomes much. I mean, the whole thing becomes incredibly silly.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The movies become incredibly silly.
I love.
Me.
I haven't seen Breaking Dawn Part 2, but I have seen their version of the final battle, and
It's very silly.
It's one of the worst things that has been.
Martin Sheen's presence is not the most. Michael Sheen rather is not the most ridiculous thing about it. That's how silly.
This
Well,
is,
because
this is when me, this is when me, a teenage girl reading these books who was
Yeah.
invested in what was happening. All
Mhm,
right,
mhm.
read the ending and thought it was stupid. And
can
that was
spoil it.
my that was my
Mm.
like niche. That book would have
Mhm.
written for girls my age who wanted to read books like that.
Mhm.
And they just fucking what?
We can spoil the fact that the last movie and last half of the last book is a vision sequence.
Yes, yeah, it is. It was all a dream, by the way.
Mhm.
I didn't know that before watching Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I was like, this is. Oh.
Yeah,
It's like watching Tenet.
and
Tenet.
also
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
gets a
yeah.
happy. I hated that everybody important got a happy ending too.
Of course I do.
Do any
Oh.
main characters die? Any?
Oh, one of the werewolves does.
Every
We're-
fantasy.
We're past the point where he's been introduced in the, and I like it's very easy to miss him. And I was like, oh, he's gonna die later. I know about him, but you wouldn't like. He's just gonna be like, oh, and one of the wolves died.
There's a subplot with that girl, the youngling.
The sister, yeah. Oh wait, no, the child.
There's that child, and I think she got her own spin-off book.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
read any of the
probably.
spin-off books.
Yeah, I'm not.
She's
I'm
in the
not,
movie as well. I can't
I'm not
Did
too
you get
wide
Dakota
in.
Fanning's character?
Huh?
Are we talking about Dakota
No,
Fanning's character?
no, not at all.
Renesmee. Renesmee.
I hate
That's
that
okay.
name. So
Oh,
we're
I
moving
do
on.
too. That's why I'm saying it over and over. Bianca, just quickly, have you seen just wrenching it back onto Jak and Daxter?
Oh
Have
yeah,
you-
no, sorry.
Have you
It was
seen
my
this?
left.
Have you seen this game in motion?
No. I don't know anything about Jak and Daxter. I don't-
Well, let's just establish for your sake what it looks like. I'm just playing on stream a clip
Alright.
of what it looks like. Let's.
Oh, you're
I'm
funny.
gonna have to watch the video.
Now look, if you two fix the eco beam, I'll give you a power cell. Oh, and
I've
another
seen
thing,
that.
if by any chance you're interested in making a contribution
They-
to my re-election,
There's a lot of moving parts to these
campaign,
characters.
I might be willing to part with yet
I see
another
exactly what you
power
were all
cell.
talking about.
We'll do a
Minimum
Twilight.
contribution is
Yes.
very modest.
We'll stream the whole thing.
90
Yeah, we
Precursor
can do the thing where it's it's not on it's on Netflix, not Amazon, so we can't do the watch party thing.
Damn, I know there was another way.
Oh boy, look at his arms go when he runs,
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
and everything moves so much.
There's a lot of
Sure
frames.
does.
And
Yeah.
also, when he stands still, there's only one.
Yeah, I see exactly what you guys are talking about how he moves a lot, and it's good.
It is one of the nicest characters to control in platform at the moment. It's the way you roll and jump and hit things. Like, honestly, to me, it feels quite satisfying. I know you're not a fan of the attacks, Brendan, but
No, everything else is. It's very tight.
and they animate Daxter as well naturally, so he's doing his own thing as you're carrying.
Not just attached. He's part of the scenery.
This is something I haven't brought up yet, though. But when I think about mascot platformers,
I like how he jumps. I very much like how he jumps.
Jak and Daxter is like one of the first things that I think of.
Yeah. Big time. Yeah, and it's yeah, and it's like it's them and Ratchet and Clank as far as like dual
Yeah.
protagonist platformers go. And yeah, they're just and rather than being an oddity, they're just kind of iconic. And I think the sequels definitely helped. We'll definitely delve into like, but even though the sequels kind of diverted from this form, Mario 64-ish format in quite a big way. Yeah, it's just cool to. It's very, very nostalgic, and it kind of earns that nostalgia as well. It's a nice little 1-2 hit there, honestly.
So in the last 10, I'll try to remember a few things as well in the last 10 minutes. So, so when we get to what I barely know anything about the sequels. I know that there's kind of a little bit GTA clones, not full-on clones, but pretty sure they introduce vehicles, and Jak gets a hell of a lot edgier.
Well, you
also-
know what? Let me just bring up the cover art for Jak 2. So you're gonna see
Yeah,
it.
hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen a video of this game.
Mm-hmm. So,
Oh,
There is vehicles. That's right.
would you like to also see a trailer for the
He
game?
also has a gun.
Why is so angry? Dexter's so angry.
Well, Daxter's not so angry. Daxter's much the same. Jack
In
is
the
the one
in
who's
the
gotten
cover
angry.
art, he looks angry.
Yeah, he's just very very enthused, I think. Yeah. But yeah, do you wanna see a trailer just quickly?
I'd love to.
Yes, please.
All
I'll
right.
just bring up the slides on my own screen again. Watch the video. Yes.
In the future, cities will fall under siege. Streets
lightning
will
real?
become battlegrounds.
Yeah, I was about to say it didn't look real.
In a time where all hope is lost, salvation comes in the form of two heroes.
Is this a real trailer?
How come we get all the crappy missions?
I want information. Where the hell am I?
He talks now?
I don't like you.
Oh my god, he talks. Where the hell am I?
All right. I made it cut off like a minute in, because stuff beyond that is stuff that I want you to see for the first time when we play it on Thursday night. Which, by the way, anybody watching, we're gonna play.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Jak 2 on Thursday
I'm
night.
excited to watch that. I'm very excited to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's edgier. Goes to a grittier, more urban place. Perfectly fitting of the 2000s. Brendan, how do you feel seeing that? You did not know that he talks in the sequel.
Oh no, I knew that he talked.
Oh,
but-
okay. You're just playing it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Bianca didn't know.
I didn't know that he talks.
Yeah.
Well, I've like I said, I've seen videos of that game being played.
Mm-hmm.
And thought it looked really boring. I didn't realize that he talked. I guess that was lost on me. But he talks like this. Where are
I
they?
don't give a damn.
I don't give a damn. I'm gonna turn in my gun and my badge.
Give me my
am
gun, I'm Jack.
So excited for you to see just all of that anger on display. You know, like how they
Yeah.
explore it, for lack of a better word. Oh man, yeah. There's so much I want to like delve into with Jak 2, but I just want you to see it for yourself in context. That's what I want to do more than anything. So I'm really excited to play through it on Thursday with Brendan hanging around
Can't
as
wait.
well. The Daxter on my shoulder, so to speak. Just so we're like in the proper place for it, can I show you the true 100%
Yes.
Jak and Daxter ending?
Yes.
So-
We'll have to do it 3-2-1. 3-2-1 when we play it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like, let me just queue up the time code firstly.
Is it the next slide?
Yeah. So hang on. So the time code is 4752. If you
No,
land,
this is Jak 2 Flash game. Sorry.
oh
Can you-
no. This is Jak. That's just something I had in reserve in case we needed something else to talk about. There were Flash games, official Sony Flash games. No, but if you go to the Precursor Legacy or cutscenes, the one with Kira doing that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and
okay.
you go to 4750 of that video, okay?
Oh, I'll just watch it on the stream. Sorry.
You watch it on the stream? Okay, and I won't say anything to spoil anything.
Yeah,
Okay, so
cool.
what you saw, Brendan, you beat the final boss, everyone sort of commiserated and was happy. There was a hint that Golem would come back.
I should also mention
Yeah.
something that seemed important to me and might not come up ever again.
Uh-huh.
But it came down to it where it was like this white eco came out and they were like, should we use this to defeat the final boss or turn Daxter back into an elf boy?
Right.
And then Daxter was like, fine, go ahead.
hmm
I'll live as a weasel and we can save the world.
I was about to correct you and say Otzel, but there's NPCs in the game who just call him a weasel anyway, so it's like even they're not consistent. It's fine.
Well, I when I said that, I knew he wasn't a weasel.
The question of whether Daxter should turn back or not is never a question again. I'll say that much. Like
Okay.
it's never like him being turned into an Otzel is only really a thing in the first game. That's it.
Great.
Yeah. From then on, there are other questions it poses, but we'll learn all about that. But look, so you saw the ending in which that happens, and they all commiserate, and they see. Do you remember like the very last conversation they had though, where they noticed something on the platform?
No.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to play it on stream, and you'll see what happens.
Okay.
Holy yakko! What could that be?
Wow! It's an ancient precursor door. It looks like it will only open
shit.
if we fill all 100
Extremely
holes
close.
with power cells.
We're heroes, remember?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
We
Sorry.
have 100 power cells.
Oh my god, his mouth moves so much. I don't like Daxter's mouth moving.
Wow! What is it? It's so beautiful.
It's Kingdom Hearts.
It's the DTD. Oh, well, not really, actually. It's
And scene. That's it.
What?
That's how they left it.
what?
Yeah. Not yeah. I mean, Naughty Dog.
Hmm. So if you went to the trouble of getting all 100 power cells in Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, and
You
put
get nothing.
You put them all into that door. You know,
It was a
all-
long
it
time
was
to
a
put
long
it all
time
in.
when they relish on the
Mm.
fact that you got every single one.
Mm.
Opens the door, they go, "Wow, it's beautiful," and we don't see what it is. But very first cutscene of Jak 2, they establish what it is.
Okay.
good.
Okay, alright. Cliffhangers are okay as long as they get delivered on.
Yeah, it's delivered on. But
Alright,
imagine playing it back in 2001, not knowing if like there's going to be
If there was going to be a
Yeah.
Jak 2.
the Precursor Odyssey, and
Yeah.
yeah,
The Precursor.
Is that what it's called? No, it was called Revengeance or something.
Renegade. Hang on, yeah,
Renegade.
Oh, Renegade. Yeah.
Renegade.
I was being
Um,
quite serious when I said it's called Revengeance or something.
Yeah, well, it was a good guess. No, it's Renegade, and then Jak 3 is just Jak 3, and it's not Jak Roman numeral 3. It's just a number 3. So like, marketing
sure
has
we
their fingerprints all over the naming of these games. You know,
Yeah, and we'll have Jak the 4th. We'll go full Saints Row.
the racing spin-off is called Jak X.
Good.
Jak X Combat Racing.
No thanks. I don't
What's
want
the
any
one
part of that.
called?
You can get
Jak.
it on PS4.
Good.
I'll
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah, we'll stream it on your behalf. It's all good.
I should have made one called Jak Off the Grid. Instead, I would say Jack Off, and that'd be really funny.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Ratchet and Clank had it sewn up in terms of like cute puns.
Oh yeah, they
Up
did.
your
They
arsenal, going commando.
very funny.
They're a quest for booty. They're on a quest for butts.
That is very funny.
Too
Yeah,
funny.
it's extremely good.
Peak comedy.
And the
if we
newest
quickly say-
Ratchet and Clank is just called Drift Apart, which Rift Apart rather, which is
Talking about butt cheeks.
Hey. I just want to quickly say, James, you want Louie Cam? Well, now's as good a time as any.
I am watching very
Because we're
intently.
now I am going to let you down.
Oh.
We're affiliated now, though. You can subscribe. You can send us your money. If you were to do that, maybe I'd buy a second webcam. Just saying. Just saying I could get a second webcam. And then it could be a little webcam right here, pointed directly at that bed, where he's not at the moment.
I'm sorry, did you slip in a Saints Row reference?
Yeah, I did. When
Jack the
when you were
Fourth.
saying, yeah, I said that we were going to call it Jak the 4th, and then that'd be because that's what Saints Row do. They do the weird, they're purposely inconsistent.
Well
So,
played. All right. Okay.
And like Shrek as well.
mm.
That goes
I just nodded, and I was like, wait a second.
good. Imagine Jack, but it's just Shrek.
Shrek.
I want information.
Shrek.
I can't do
I
it.
want you to get out of that
it.
swamp.
I want your information.
Wow, Shrek.
I'll race
wanna
you
be
on
human.
my speed bike.
Daxter. Not an onion. Fresh Shrek impression.
I don't know. I can't do that accent.
I'm
Can't
not
do
an
accents.
onion.
Okay. Do we have any final thoughts, Bianca, or Brendan, on Jak and Daxter? Period. Even not even just the first game, just like what you understand of the franchise now, having come out on the other side.
I was going to say I really want to know how we get from Jak 1 to the second one, but I know the answer is GTA 3 came out. So.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Having now seen the gameplay clips of number 1 and now remembering what Jak 2 is and that I have seen that, wow.
And we're all gonna find out together. We're all gonna get our answers together on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. I am gonna stream Jak 2 from a PS4. Bren's gonna be joining me, and we're gonna just take a trip through time, man. Like, it is such a 2003 ass game. It is so. It's got such an attitude. Like, it's not Conker's Bad Fur Day level swearing and moaning and whatever. Like, it's not that mature, but it's just mature enough for 12-year-old me to go, oh, wow. And
this game is cool.
It hits a very unique tone as a result of that, combined with like the character design, which is still very good, honestly, generally.
It's still a Naughty Dog game.
There's some crappy characters, and we're gonna find them out together. But yeah. Oh man, I'm really excited. I'm excited for you to see it. And thank you for coming here tonight to chat, Jak.
Special thanks to Neil Druckmann. We all look up to you and your writing skills. That's all.
That's all. All right.
Bring back Amy Hennig.
Yeah.
Bring back Amy Hennig.
I love when white cis straight men write trans characters.
It's my favorite.
And decide to dead name those characters.
On that cheery note, goodbye.
Bye, everybody.